So this is basically a fun fanfiction idea. I thought it would be kind of fun to bring back and really talk about, like really like a revamp of this old idea. And that idea, as you can see right here, is a fanfiction idea talking about a kind of AU crossover between Kong and Jurassic World. So, in this story, what this is a kind of an alternate take of Jurassic World, and also sets with a lot of the Kong stuff. So in this continuity, Kong did the events of King Kong in 1933 did happen. They did happen. There was instead of Son of Kong, there was a supposed expedition to Skull Island, but Skull Island was destroyed in a storm before anyone could find, basically before they could get there, storm wiped it out. So there are no more Kong. Now, Kong's body was put into restoration. Like, basically, restoration. I mean, like, it got the body got taxidermied and put in the Smithsonian, because of course, like, something that big, like an animal that big, of course people would want to see it. So the body was put in museum, but a lot of the DNA samples were kept, and because of those samples, InGen actually got their hands on viable DNA samples of Kong, and what it turns out, they didn't get it from that Kong. They didn't get it from that Kong, because obviously the genetic material will be kind of deteriorated by now. But Kong, they did get lucky, because one of the mosquitoes they find, they check the DNA, and it's a Kong DNA. So there was an initial plan for Jurassic Park to have a Kong on the island. Like, Jurassic Park wasn't going to be a Skull Island Part 2, but they wanted to have their own Kong. But they never, because obviously Jurassic Park happened, and InGen wasn't able to do it. But however, for Jurassic World, Dr. Wu and his team managed to successfully clone a Kong. And here's the other thing. The Kong clone on Jurassic World is actually the only male creature. It's the only male creature, because Masrani was like, no one's gonna want to see a Queen Kong. And to which Claire goes, that's a little sexist, but whatever, you're my boss. So yeah, Kong is there's only one Kong, it's a male Kong, and he's the only male creature there. And he's also the only mammal there. And he's basically what a lot of people were thinking, like, could this be a doorway into talking more about with Pleistocene creatures like mammoths and whatnot. In this story, we're now in Jurassic World, and Kong now has his own enclosure. Kong's got his own enclosure. It's called the Kingdom of Kong, and it's actually kind of funny, because there is a descendant of Anne and Jack. There is a character who is descendant from Anne Darrow, and that is a woman named Faith Driscoll. So there is a Dr. Driscoll here, and she is a primatologist who has been studying Kong, and the fact that she's blonde also, like, gets Kong calm and whatnot, and she's also understands that these dinosaurs do upset Kong, and it does remind him a lot, like, there has to be, like, some reminiscence of Kong's mind that realize, hey, I existed in a world with dinosaurs, and yeah, that would make sense that he would probably have some kind of semblance of a memory of, my species were around dinosaurs. And of course, you can probably guess what animal he's not getting along with the most. Yeah, the T-Rex and him, usually, like, their days, like, you would hear, like, roars from Kong and roars back from the T-Rex. Like, they would just have a roaring contest across the island. In fact, I would have it that they had to put Kong's, like, enclosure on another side of the park and away from the T-Rex, because they knew they would basically, like, try to get at each other constantly. So now we're coming into the events of Jurassic World, and when the Indominus is introduced, Kong instantly understands something's wrong. Like when the Indominus pen is introduced and it's released there, he instantly feels like there's an imbalance. And he's upset, he's angry, he's frustrated, he's actually like pounding on his cage, on his enclosure, and they're like, Kong's getting way too aggressive, and it's never, like, he's always been angry with the T-Rex, but like, he's never really had like that kind of level of aggression put out there. So what do? So obviously the Indominus breaks out, and here's the big thing. Kong, he breaks out too. Kong manages to escape his enclosure, but rather than go on a rampage, Kong actually is on the hunt for the Indominus. Like, that was his first thing. Like, when the Indominus broke out, Kong was like, danger. So, and the other thing I wanted to have is that Faith basically tells Masrani and Hoskins, who did want to use Kong as a weapon, she basically goes, you know, if Kong really wanted to, he would escape his enclosure. Like, he likes it here, but now something's upset him, and now he's going to figure out what it is. So the story is more or less Kong and the Indominus, Kong on the trail of the Indominus, while, you know, the rest of Jurassic World are like, we're not dealing with one animal breaking out, we're literally dealing with two very powerful animals, and God help us if they run into each other. So yeah, this is more like the like a mix between the 1933 and 2000s Kong, like the Peter Jackson Kong. So it is like a big gorilla, and not like Skull Island, like I'll just step on the I-Rex. It's more like, yeah, they're more like on the equal size. So Kong is like tracking the I-Rex, and they do run into each other. When the I-Rex finds the two boys, it's actually Kong who saves them. And as he's battling the I-Rex, the I-Rex gets the upper hand, beats down Kong, and Kong is forced to flee. But now the I-Rex realizes, hey, there's something out there that could be dangerous to me, so I gotta go kill it. Eventually, the two get more into a fight. Kong shows up to challenge the I-Rex at the end, and even gets help from Blue and the T-Rex. And of course, instead of the Mosasaur putting the killing blow on the I-Rex, it's actually the T-Rex who holds, who actually like holds the Indominus by the neck, and then Kong does the jawbreak with the help of the T-Rex, with the T-Rex holding him down. So there you go. And by the end of it, like at the end of this story, Kong and the T-Rex are like, are they going to fight? Are they going to run it? Are they going to finally tear into each other? Kong and the T-Rex are like, I'm too tired, man. Let's just go our separate ways. And that's basically what happens. So there you go, guys. That is pretty much just a fun little Kong story. Just a little fun Kong story. I don't do a lot of these, so that would be just kind of a neat idea. So you guys tell me in the comments below, what do you guys think of this Kong Jurassic World story? Do you guys like it, hate it? Just comment below, let me know. And as always, if you haven't already, go check out the link to my Patreon and become a patron there. I greatly appreciate it. And once again, I'm Mr. Multiverse. I'll see you next time in the Multiverse.